Hello class, welcome to World History Today. Today we are going to be discussing the country of Japan. Some topics of Japan that we are going to go over is the location, some brief history about it, the education, credentials that teachers in Japan must have to be a teacher, the difference between Japan and the United States. To start with, we're going to talk about the location of Japan. The population of Japan is 126,702,133. It is located right off the east of Asia, and it is an island surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Japan. It has an area of 377,915. Japan is slightly smaller than the state of California. Here you can see where Japan is located. You can see that it is near Russia, North Korea, and South Korea. And you can see that it is surrounded by the Sea of Japan and the Pacific Ocean. This shows you a picture of what the Japanese flag looks like. Okay, so to talk about some brief history on the country of Japan and to discuss kind of how it developed into what it is today and just some tribulations that they may have experienced. So, the first period was the Tokugawa period, which started in the 1600s and ended in 1867. The educational philosophy at this time embraced both learning basics, which included math, social studies, science, and language arts. They also incorporated training military schools. They wanted to educate young and inspiring samurais. Samurais are their military over there, like our soldiers during this time period, they called them samurais. And this was their soldiers. 2% of Japan's population was samurais at this time, but they wanted them to become warriors ready to fight. During this time period, 220 domain training schools were created to train the samurais. The Lord of Mito during this time period ended this era because Lord of Mito voluntarily surrendered his power to Meiji Emperor in 1867. Meiji became the emperor right after that occurred, which leads us to the Meiji period, which started in 1868 and ended in 1912. Meiji wanted to modernize Japan, and education became a very high priority. He started elite training schools and started primary schools during this time period. In 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor is located in Hawaii, and this led to World War II. America retaliated, which we all know, and Hiroshima occurred, which led to, in 1945, Japan surrendering, which ended World War II. Since 1950, Japanese have experienced a major change, development, and growth regarding their education. During this, briefly after 1950, colleges were developed as well as universities. They also started having exams to provide enrichment classes, which led them to higher education. Elementary education. Elementary education begins at age 6 and is completed at age 12. During this, you go through 6 years of school in elementary education. The curriculum includes social studies, math, physical ed, science, Japanese language arts, homemaking, music, drawing and handcrafts, moral education, and special activities. By the end of the elementary school year, or by the end of their 6 years at the elementary school, they are to know 1,000 characters from Kanji. And what Kanji is basically their alphabet. They have nouns, the characters that represents nouns, adjectives, and verbs. They have 240 school days, and 5 days a week they attend school for 7 hours, and then they also attend schools on Saturday, but that's only a half day. They really emphasize math and science at this grade level, and the Japanese education in general learns complicated skills and concepts at an earlier age than children here in America. For this age group, the elementary education level, the method that they use is memorizing facts. Instead of having critical thinking and problem solving, the children are learning facts. Okay, for secondary education, this is a 3-year lower secondary school. This are relevant to junior high. The dropout rate is very, very, very low. And 97% of the students ages 15 to 18 will enroll in upper secondary school, which is high school over there. They also study the basics of language arts, social studies, math, science, homemaking, moral education, and a foreign language. The 10% of the learning is dedicated to a foreign language, with English being their most popular. Now, they emphasize the moral education so much because at a young age, they want to install in their children how to be a productive citizen in their country once they are done with school. They not only want them to be educated, but they want them to have moral values as well. This is a picture of the kanji. This shows some symbols of what it looks like. Symbols can represent letters, or symbols can represent the nouns, adjectives, and verbs, like I stated. Here's some of their classrooms. And in regards to the furniture, an interesting fact about that is for elementary school students, they can arrange their furniture when needed if they want to do group activities or if they're trying to do activities in the classroom. When it comes to the secondary education, however, their desks cannot move and are not able to move around. They're in rows and they stay that way. Teacher education. The teachers over there are required to have a 4-year college degree, and teachers are a highly respected field over there. There are over 1 million teachers in Japan. They must take the national entrance exam to be accepted into the teaching program at one of the colleges or universities. After they have graduated, teachers must undergo a 3-week teaching practicum, which is equivalent to our internship, but theirs is real shorter and it's after graduation. 30 to 40% who do graduate and finish their practicum actually find a job in teaching because teachers stay in their jobs for so long